Have you ever wanted to know what was the most powerful religion in the world? Well, we are going to take a look at this video done by Alux called Top 10 Most Powerful Religions in the World.
What do you mean by powerful?
I know, well, we're going to have to watch it because I'm not totally sure about what this video is going to be getting at here. But this video is 8 years old. Very popular though, has something like 4.7 million views. Yeah, I guess we won't keep you guys waiting. Let's get into it.
Hey Aluxers, we have kind of a different video for you today. Money isn't everything, and you guys know that. No matter if you're a believer or an atheist, you should be aware that there are plenty of religions and respect their rights. At Alux.com, we believe in living an extraordinary life, one filled with happiness for you and those around you. Be happy, live happy, help others, and just don't be an asshole. With that in mind, here are the top 10 most powerful religions in the world right now. Number 10, Baha'i, 7 million adherents. Baha'u'llah, a Persian man, was the founder of Baha'i in the 19th century. Baha'i faith believes in the unity of all religions. It merges religious history as a series of divine messengers. Krishna, Buddha, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad all established a religion which suited the needs of the time and the capacity of the people back then. The followers of Baha'i practice prayer and worshiping one God of all humans. All religions in the world have only one God, which is single and has no equal. They practice simplicity. This reflects on their ritual as well. Mostly they occur in individuals, homes, or centers. There are 7 Baha'i houses of worship throughout the world. Number 9, Judaism, 14 million adherents. The first temple of Judaism, the Solomon's Temple, dated back to 832 BC. It was an important holy temple in Jerusalem. Abraham was the father of the Jewish people. When his descendants were enslaved in Egypt, God told Moses to lead the Exodus. Number 8, Spiritism, 15 million adherents. In the early 19th century, a French educator named Allan Kardec founded Spiritism. Unlike most religions, the founder is not a prophet. In fact, Spiritism does not believe in prophecy. Kardec wrote 5 books about Spiritism. They are based on research and testimony of the spiritual world. This religion teaches the same values as Christianity, but it does not see Jesus as the Son of God. They believe that humans are immortal spirits which inhabit physical bodies to improve morally and intellectually until the day they pass through the spiritual world. Number 7, Sikhism, 23 million adherents. Sikhism was founded by Guru Nanak in Pakistan in the 16th century. Sikhs believe in God as the one supreme reality. He is known as Ik Onkar. Sikhs pray through hymns and meditation. Sikhism teaches selfless service. Its practices are similar to Hindus and Islam's. What is unique about this religion is its distinctive prohibition of cutting hair for those who have taken the admirate initiation ceremony. Number 6, African traditional religion, 100 million adherents. There are many traditional religions practiced by African people. However, they share the same general concept. They believe in a supreme creator, spirits, ancestors, veneration, and magic. They worship supernatural spirits, including their ancestors, as their intermediaries between humans and God. Their religious rituals involve animal sacrifices and libation. They believe that humans should have harmony with the supernatural world. Number 5, Buddhism, 376 million adherents. According to Buddhist tradition, Buddha was born in Lumbini, now a part of Nepal, in 563 BC. His name was Siddhartha Gautama, and he was a prince living a luxurious life. After he fled from his palace, he discovered the misery of others. This was his awakening moment. He meditated intensely for 40 days. He battled worldly temptations to reach nirvana. Since then, he began to teach others about his experience. Many follow his footsteps. He died at the age of 80 in Kushinagar, now a part of India. Number 4.
So, I think what they mean by most powerful is just most populated. Because every religion that they've shown on this list, the population is just going up. So, I guess they see power in numbers. That's what I'm taking from this video.
Mm-hmm.
But interesting to kind of like see some of the construction of the temples and the buildings and stuff like that. If money was no object, I'd love to visit these places. Every time I see these videos, I'm always like, man, I want to go check that out. I want to go see some of that.
Yeah.
And then, starting with the Baha'i, I feel like it's amazing that it only came out in the 19th century and that it's been able to, get into the top 10 of all religions such a short period of time. But I feel it's probably due to its flexibility, the fact that it accepts so many different types of faith. It's almost mystical in its nature, Baha'i faith. And I'd have to study more about it. We should do some more videos on it. But
the most I know about it is Rainn Wilson from The Office. The guy who played Dwight, I think, is of the Baha'i faith. And he comes off as a pretty well-read, intelligent guy. I've seen him a few times in interviews talking about all kinds of things. And he seems very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting when they mentioned the Buddha there, that number, the 40 days came up again. Buddha went and meditated for 40 days. It's like Jesus going 40 days. Yeah. That number strikes again, 40.
Yeah.
Something about doing 40 days or something.
I don't know what that is. There's a guy I'm following on TikTok right now who's actually trying to do a 40-day fast. I'm like, why did you pick 40? Why didn't you pick 41? Why didn't you pick 30? Why 40?
Remember that kooky guy from a few years back that he was like a street guy that would hit on chicks and then he fasted or something for like 40 days?
He did it.
Yeah.
He did it. He was like
different.
Oh yeah. It changed him.
I don't know if that was the determining factor. And then the other thing I was happy to hear is that Buddha lived to be 80. So many of the prophets, it's like, and then, well, maybe not so many. I guess I'm just thinking about Jesus, but I like when they lived a full life and they weren't murdered or something.
I think sometimes when we look at history, we take for granted like how limited they were on like medicine and stuff like that. They didn't have nothing, man. Penicillin didn't come to like the early 19th century, man. So it was like a lot of people made it. It was like you did good if you made it to 40.
People were still crucifying people for saying the wrong thing.
Oh god,
or being the wrong way. So now it's hey, there you go. There's an opener. Become a prophet. Safest time to do it yet.
Safest time to become a prophet now. All right. Well, anyway, we continue on.
Chinese traditional religion, 394 million adherents. The Chinese traditional religion dates back to 206 BC, when the Han Dynasty ruled the country. They worship a Chinese god. Chinese people believe in gods and spirits in a form of forces within the order of nature. There are 4 concepts of the religion, which cover the spiritual, cosmological, and moral aspects of life. The first one is Tian, a heaven as the source of moral meaning. Second, Qi, the breath of substance of which everything was made. Third, Jingsu, the ancestors' veneration. And last, Baoying, the moral reciprocity. Number 3, Hinduism, 900 million adherents. Hinduism is an ancient religion. It started as a fusion of various Indian cultures and traditions. It is believed to be the heritage of Previtic religion dated back to 30,000 BC, with the classical Hinduism first emerging in 200 BC. The concept of God in Hinduism is complex. It depends on each individual's philosophy and the tradition itself. This reflects to its rituals as well. For example, Hindus in India practice different rituals compared to Hindus in Bali, Indonesia. In general, they worship the Supreme Being as Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, and or Shakti. They embody from proper aims of human life: dharma, duties; artha, prosperity; karma, emotion; and moksha, liberation. Number 2, Islam, 1.5 billion adherents. In 610 CE, Muhammad had revelation from God through Archangel Gabriel. These revelations were recorded into a book known as Quran. The concept of God in Islam is strict and clear. God is one and He is almighty. He created the universe by a simple command: be, and so it is. They believe that there is only one religion, Islam, and Muhammad is its prophet. Number 1, Christianity, 2.1 billion adherents. Christians believe that in 4 BC, the Son of God was born. He is Jesus Christ, who brought salvation from humanity. The story of his life was written in a Bible, which becomes the guidance of Christians' life. Christianity teaches the essential belief of Trinity. God is one God in 3 persons coexisting as one. They cannot be divided. They are the Father, the Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. The 2.1 billion adherents of Christianity are divided into several denominations. The 3 primary divisions are Roman Catholicism, Eastern Orthodoxy, and Protestantism. These 3 claim several differences but believe in relatively the same God. Before we began working on this video, we did our best to talk to people from these religions, and by no means do we plan to offend anybody. These are facts that we present to the best of our knowledge at the time of making this video. What do you think about the different religions around the world? Are you guys active religious? Let us know. We really want to hear back from you guys on this one. You know YouTube won't allow us to add bonus facts at the end of our videos. That's why we're going to do it right here. There's one religion in particular we have an interest in that didn't make the list. If you've never heard of Pastafarians and their Lord and Savior, the Flying Spaghetti Monster, you need to fix that immediately. We won't go into much detail, but go ahead and Google it.
All right, I got a couple things. One, I'm always curious how they come up with these numbers, because when I was growing up, I was always aware that there were a lot of people that would say, oh yeah, I'm Christian, but they knew nothing about their life. They didn't go to church, they didn't read the Bible, they didn't do anything. They just said I was Christian. And I'm sure, I'm guessing, but I'm sure with a lot of other religions, there's people out there that say, I'm Hindu or I'm Muslim or I'm Jewish, but they don't practice their faith. So do you count the people that are just saying I'm something or not? I got a sneaky suspicion that there aren't 2.1 billion Christians on the planet. And doesn't that also go kind of against the scripture that says narrow is the gate and few are they that find it? Wow. If 1/4 of the Earth's population is apparently, Christian or saved, as they like to call it.
That thought crossed my mind a lot, going to, on excursions with the church to some, some conference in the city, and it's packed and everybody's like, we're on the winning side, we're the winners. I'm like, wait a sec. This is like a prosperity jammed in packed church. Yeah. Everybody cheering in unison. Aren't it supposed to be few that find it? And it's sort of exclusive, like a esoteric vein, And I would say that with a lot of religions, if you're serious about it, it's not like a club for you, or it's not like just something that helps you kind of go to bed at night. All I know is I am saved. If you're really objective and serious about it, then I would say you start getting in the realm of the mystical and esoteric, and the number gets smaller.
Oh yeah, for sure. I actually have a sneaky suspicion that if you did have to pick, if you were going around, you're like, who actually are adherents of their faith and follow it, I bet you it's probably Islam is probably the biggest religion in the world. Of actual people who do the 5 days of the 5 prayers a day, who actually follow what they're saying. I bet you.
I don't want to offend, but yeah, you can think of conversations that are like Presbyterian. Were you Lutheran or Lutheran? Like something you were born into or something like that. I don't know. I was wondering too. How did they get the numbers? Yeah. Yeah. So that's an interesting talking point. A lot of different things to believe. Spaghetti Monster is one of them, I suppose,
Yeah. There was a few on the list that I didn't even recognize. You forget that there's about Africa. It gets so little attention on social media about the spirituality and the religious or theistic beliefs that they have there. Even in, I think they mentioned China there too. Again, there's so much that gets lost within that. It's usually the popular ones that get all the press. But we're here, we're watching, and we're learning these. We'll take a look at some of it. We're going to take a deeper dive in on some of these.
My brain goes in odd directions. We see so many images of whether it's the Buddha or whoever, or some kind of deity from any religion, and they're sitting on a sort of a throne, and they're doing something with their hand. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're doing this, and they look like that. And there's always they're sort of elevated, and there's people around them. You know? And I'm like, what if you took that figure and you just moved them off to the side? Put some other guy like this, and that guy's off to the side. Would it have the same impact? Or, what would the one that everyone was like, teach me how to have what you have?
Yeah.
What would that person be like if they weren't in the center of attention? If there wasn't a religion around them?
Yeah.
Can you think of a guy that you pass maybe every day on the street or something like that that's already sort of off to the side doing this?
Well, you make a good point, because...
Do you respect him? Or is that the person you go up to and be like, teach me?
A lot of it has to do with being in the right place at the right time, and a lot of things working out to put that person in that place. I like what Britt Hartley usually has to say about it is say we got rid of all those religious figures today, they'd be replaced tomorrow. You'd find someone. Okay, this guy. You're now the guy who's got to be on stage in front of everyone.
Who knows what would happen if it was like a post-apocalyptic world? They might find a picture of Superman and be like, "That's the savior."
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or who knows? Or what types of values would rise to the surface? You know, you look at the early beliefs of people and the pantheon of gods, you know, and all the different attributes they had. Like this one governs war, and this one governs the sky, and you know. And then monotheism over time becomes an idea. You know, later on it feels like people are like, well, let's just have one. Yeah. And what kind of things do they embody? And then the prophets, they're interesting characters. You know, like the thing that always stands, whether we're talking about Muhammad, whether we're talking about Christ, whether we're talking about Buddha, it's just they end up taking kind of the center stage of a lot of these religions. Mm. And you look at them and it's like, would you really be pals with someone like that in real life? Or are you a man of the people? Are you ingrained in our modern culture where if the guy was like, behold, I say unto you, blah, blah, it'd be like, shut up! You know, one thing I won't do is fart in God's church. You know what I mean? Like the guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like, you know, like just sort of believe it, but don't really follow it. Would you actually follow the prophet if he was around telling you radical things? They were always saying radical things. Yeah. They were always saying things that were sort of counterculture.
Well, if stats say anything, for most of us, probably even including me, probably no, because very few people wanted to be like, I want a place to lay my head at night.
I know.
I don't want to,
give up outside. All your possessions and come follow me, is what he said to the rich man. Good Lord. That's like a message that should be on... You know, if you're a real believer, for Pete's sake, shouldn't that be taken seriously? And it's just interesting to see people of any religion trying to like move pieces around to justify the way they are, even though it's antithetical to the way the prophet often tells you to live.
Yeah, and then even after you give up all that stuff, it's just usually it's not the point anyway. It was like, that wasn't the point. Good thing you did it, though, but it would actually, you can go get it all again.
Right.
It's like, it doesn't even matter.
Right.
It's like, but yeah, just interesting stuff. Food for thought. Yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a reaction on this one. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everyone till next time,
stay spiritual.